Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. If you are new here, my name is Bill Benoist. I'm a certified professional career coach in Silicon Valley. I've talked about this before. It's your resume that validates your competence, but when you're called in for a in-person interview, it becomes more about compatibility than it does about competence. And I've done a number of videos also on the subject of first impressions and how first impressions are often made within the first 20 seconds of meeting the individual. I mean, before you can even be, sitting down and going through the interview and being asked about your skills and behavioral type of questions and your salary and everything else, a lot of times, decisions are being made within the first 20 seconds, and a number of studies out there on this. But one of the things that I want to talk about in this first 20 seconds, and it's a little psychological move, but I think it's one that can definitely work in your favor, is if you're offered a beverage before the interview starts. So let's say you come out and say, "Hi, Joyce, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming in. Can I get you a cup of coffee or some water or anything like that before we start the interview?" Always accept the beverage. Again, it's like a little psychological move here. And here's the reason why. It's more noticeable if you say no to a beverage than if you say yes to the beverage and you never touch it. And I've actually validated this a number of times myself. And it was also something that I didn't always did. In fact, if I was interviewing, over the years, and we have to go a long ways back because my last company I stayed with for 18 years. But, prior to that, be interviewing, somebody would ask me if I wanted a cup of coffee or some water or something like that. I often would say no to it because I didn't want to put the person out. But this is what I've learned. Again, it's more noticeable if you say no to it than if you say yes and you never touch it. So I was recently, some of the clients I work with, I'll do an all-day gig with them. I'll meet them at a Regis office from like 9 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. We'll go over the resume, we'll go over LinkedIn, we'll go over interviewing, we'll go over creating a job search strategy, all during these 8 hours. And by the way, this is usually something that is, say, C-level executives or a couple of steps down from that. But I will get into the Regis office about 30 minutes before the client does, and I'll talk with the front staff there, find out, the Wi-Fi, print out some resumes for the individual that's coming in. And one of the things I'll do is, find out where the kitchen is and maybe get a cup of coffee. So I'll have some coffee in my office when I go out to the lobby to meet the individual out there. And I'll always do this. I'll sit there and say, "Hey, can I get you some coffee before we begin?" And most of the time, 80% of them will get some water, coffee, tea. But remember the first time that this happened, and I've seen it, considerably, person said no, and we come on back, and we're just, for the first hour, we're really just talking and getting to know each other. And I have noticed that when I take a sip of coffee and the person's talking, we're talking back and forth, that something just feels off. And it took me a little while to understand this, but what I recognized was that that person didn't have anything there to drink or to sip on. And it just felt that little off. And again, I want to go back into the whole creating the first impressions and being in rapport. This is especially important, being in rapport to the interviewer. So the next time that something like this came up, the person said yes to the beverage, and so we're back in the office and we're talking, we're getting to know each other. And I think it's about an hour later, we go ahead and take a break before we get into it, and just taking a bio break, bathroom break, and the client left, and I was getting to walk out and just stretch, and I looked over and I noticed they had never touched their beverage, their drink, and I think it was a cup of coffee that they had, yet I never noticed it before. Because I was completely comfortable being in rapport with this individual. So you want to be in rapport with the interviewer, And one of the best ways to do this is to accept the beverage. And another reason as well is, let's say, for example, I'm getting ready to start interviewing. I've been in my office for the last couple hours, and I'm kind of looking forward to a cup of coffee. And so I go out and I greet you and I say, hey, John, thanks for coming in. Can I get you a beverage? Can I get you coffee, water? And you say no. I'm probably going to forgo mine, even though I kind of wanted it.